What up, people? While Black here, and I'm sad for my home, yo. I'm sad for Chicago because once again we are as a city, we're under national scrutiny because of some nonsense, and I have to speak on a couple of things. Being a disabled person, being out there, and just some little stuff that's I'm hearing. And if we're gonna call out one person, we need to call out someone else too. Um, First of all, I'm gonna read you a definition of word that I think needs to be clarified just a little bit. Evil, adjective, morally wrong or bad, immoral, wicked, harmful, injurious, characterized of accompanied by misfortune or suffering, unfortunate, disastrous. Now that's the adjective. That's the adjective for the word evil. Let's go down, because I heard something that was very, very stupid today. Due to actual or imputed bad conduct or character, marked by anger, irritability. Noun, that which is evil, evil quality, intention, or conduct. Okay, that is for, I don't care if this goes viral or not, that is for Don Lemon, who said, quote, I don't think this is evil. I think this is bad these kids had bad parenting or bad home training. That's the quote. All right. I ain't even gonna get mad at Don Lemon here. I'm not, because Don Lemon is a clown. Don Lemon says things to try to be contrarian for no other reason than to be contrarian. So we've seen how he is as a news person. I haven't even watched the New Year's Eve video of him supposedly drunk out of his mind and saying some stuff there. So fine. But I want to get on Symone Sanders, because she was just as bad about this. Um, let's just go down the facts a little bit before I get to her. One, this young man was lured by someone that he went to school with. That is fact. So this was premeditated. I'm mentioning this for a reason, because a couple other things have been and this is gonna parallel to Symone Sanders and the whole hate crime thing, because I want to actually kind of delve into that a little bit, because I think we as Black people need to understand a couple things before we start talking about race and racism and systematic racism, what this means as far as hate crimes and stuff. Okay, this young man was lured from, if you read one of the, and I think I have it up on my computer. I think I have the Washington Post on my computer. Give me a second, yo. Man, I do not have it on my computer. Okay, I had it open on my computer. So, but I think I can recite what the gist of the article was. He was lured by one of the guys that he knew that was in that video. He knew from high school. One of the people in question he knew from high school. They hung out together. They hung out together that day. They lured him over to the house, and then there was a play fight. He got jumped, he got tied up, and then they started messing with him. And they kept him for 2 days. The ordeal lasted about 5 hours. They're anywhere between 5 hours, and they kept him hostage for 2 days. Okay, so that's kidnapping. So they lured the kid. that's kidnapping, that's unlawful imprisonment. Those are two felony counts right there. So this was not done just by accident. This was done on purpose. The Trump stuff, I don't know why they said he was a supporter of Trump. In the article that I read by Washington Post, they never said why they said Donald Trump, but they assumed that somebody in the video said he supports Trump, and that's why the Trump stuff started happening. Couple things. I'm not going to sit up and say that this isn't a hate crime, and I'm going to go into why I think Symone Sanders, or let me get her name right, because before I go any further, because I'm going to, Symone Sanders. I got it right. Okay. The reason why I think Symone Sanders was just as bad as this, because we as black people need to stop co-signing ignorance. And what I saw on that Facebook, from what I did see in that, was at the very least ignorance. And just because racist white people and the alt-right and white supremacy has been showing its ugly head for the past year or so, and it's going to continue. So, this is not an excuse for us as black people to act complete and totally ignorant and devoid of human compassion. That's number one. So for Symone Sanders to try to say that, to try to excuse this as people are getting tired, no, this wasn't what this was. This was something they wanted to do this. He was mentally disabled. Now, we don't know exactly what disability he had, but he had some mental issues. We don't know if he was mentally ill. We don't know if he had autism. We don't know what the issue was, but he did have some mental issues. And the fact that they lured this young man in a place, they tied him up, and they tortured him. And they kept him for 2 days, and from anywhere between 5 hours to 2 days. He was missing for 2-3 days. Why are you not co-signing this, but why are you handling this with kid gloves? Miss Sanders, I have a problem with that. As a disabled person, that they don't even want to, like in stories like this, people don't even want to put our disability out there like that. This has been in some cases, I know the Chicago police really didn't couch this as he was a disabled man toward the end of the press conference. But it's like, for you to say that this white supremacy over the past year is the cause of this. No, it does just because the white supremacy has reared its ugly head because of the Trump situation, it doesn't give us the right to act that way. We have to be better than that foolishness that's going on right now. And I want to bring up the hate crime thing in two folds. One, we have to stop thinking as black people that we can't be racist. And people want to use the systematic or the systemic form of racism where white oligarchs has set up the system of this country and of discrimination of this country as the reason for us not to be racist. So because we have no systematic or systemic power in this country, that we can't be racist, or things that we do can't be racially motivated towards other races. That's false. In this case specifically, because they held that young man hostage for anywhere between 5 to 48 hours, and they held him captive, and they tortured this young man because he was white. That was racist. And you can also say, even though I don't know if they could tell he had a mental issue, You can also say that it was a hate crime because he was disabled. Now, I know we don't like to talk about ableism, and most people don't understand what ableism is, but ableism is a form of discrimination, and you can and should be charged for a hate crime because you abuse somebody with a disability. It is already a felony if you abuse somebody with a disability. So why can't this be slated as a hate crime because he's disabled is beyond me. So I understand what you try to say here, but no, Miss Sanders, you are wrong. And I know we like to poke fun at Don Lemon because he's the whipping boy here, but quite honestly, Symone Sanders was just as bad, and she needs to be held accountable for what she said on that panel as well. Both of them were wrong. This was not a home training situation. This was not like, just kids that weren't raised properly. This was a problem. And everybody in that video was 17 years and up. So the whole where's your parent or where's your guardian? I'm sorry, if you're old enough to go to war, you should have enough sense not to do that. And they're old enough to go to war. And a lot of those people voted or had the ability to vote because you're 18 years old. So miss me with the where's your guardian, where's your parents at? You should be old enough to act better. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's a rant, but I know we pick fun at Don Lemon, and that was irresponsible, but I'm sorry. Symone Sanders was just as bad. You can say that was a hate crime, period. Okay? Stop. We need to be better than what racist white people are showing us. That wasn't an excuse to do that. Anyway, Push a Wild Black out. Later.